If you're over 60, I need you to stop whatever you're doing and listen closely, because this might be one of the most important conversations you'll have about your health this year. I want you to picture something. It's early morning. Maybe you've just had your coffee, maybe you're still in your robe. You walk toward the stairs in your home, those same stairs you've climbed thousands of times over the years. But this time you pause. Your knees ache a little before you even take the first step. You instinctively reach for the handrail. And somewhere inside, a small voice says, "I used to do this without even thinking." Sound familiar? You're not alone. For millions of older adults, climbing stairs, something so basic, so automatic, has become a challenge. Not because of laziness, not because you're out of shape, but because your body is changing in ways no one warned you about. Here's what most people never hear. It's not your age that's stopping you. It's forgotten movement patterns. These patterns, specific ways your muscles used to coordinate, fire, and stabilize, begin to fade after 60. And while your doctor might focus on joints and your trainer might focus on strength, very few talk about these patterns. That's why staircases feel steeper, why rising from a chair feels heavier, and why some part of you fears the day you might avoid the stairs altogether. But I've got good news for you. This story doesn't have to end in decline. In fact, if you give me the next 30 minutes of your time, I'm going to walk you through 5 simple science-backed movements that surgeons and physical therapists use to help people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s reclaim the ability to climb stairs with confidence and ease. No equipment, no gym, just your body, your intention, and a few minutes each day. So before we dive in, let me ask you, when was the last time you climbed stairs without holding your breath, without holding your knee, without holding onto the railing? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, I promise, you'll see stairs not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity. Let's begin. For decades, people have believed that struggling with stairs after 60 is just a natural part of getting older. You're losing strength. It's your knees wearing out. You need to slow down. I've heard these phrases 100 times from patients, and to be honest, I believed some of them myself, until a study from the Journal of Aging Research completely changed my perspective. In 2023, researchers followed over 1,200 adults aged 60 and older. These weren't athletes. They were everyday people, retired teachers, grandparents, former nurses, military veterans. The one thing they had in common? Trouble with stairs. But here's what shocked the researchers. 73% of them weren't struggling because of weakness. They were struggling because their bodies had slowly stopped using 5 specific movement patterns. Patterns that used to fire automatically when they were younger, but had since faded into silence. Think of it like piano keys that haven't been played in years. The instrument is still there. The potential is still there. But without the right practice, the keys stay silent. The study found that the people who could still climb stairs easily at 75 or even 80 weren't necessarily stronger. They had simply kept these 5 patterns alive. Most physical therapy programs don't address this. Neither do typical gym workouts. They focus on muscles in isolation, leg day, core day, balance drills. But the real magic comes from training the sequence, how those muscles talk to each other. That's what this video is about. We're not just going to train strength. We're going to reactivate the software your body already has, the patterns it used to know. Because here's the truth. Stair problems aren't a muscle issue. They're a movement issue. And once you fix the pattern, everything else becomes easier. So if you've ever felt frustrated or even embarrassed that stairs make you tired, please hear this. It's not your fault. It's not your age. It's your nervous system waiting for a little reminder. And that reminder begins now with movement number 5. Movement number 5, the wall sit hold. Let's start with a movement that surprises even experienced physical therapists. It's not flashy. It's not loud. But it quietly reawakens one of the most important abilities for stair climbing: holding strength. It's called the wall sit hold. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, "That sounds like something for athletes," let me tell you what I've seen. I had a 72-year-old patient named Gloria, sweet, sharp, and stubborn. She told me, "I'm too old to sit against walls," but she gave it a try. And after just 6 weeks of doing wall sits every other morning while her tea brewed, she climbed her stairs at home without pausing for the first time in 2 years. Here's why it works. When you climb stairs, about 40% of the motion involves your muscles holding your body in place, like when you pause mid-step or shift your weight. Most exercises train movement, but not holding. That's where wall sits come in. The science backs this up. A 2022 University of Michigan study found that just 90 seconds of wall sits a day increased stair climbing speed by 34% in older adults. So how do you do it? Stand with your back flat against a wall. Walk your feet forward about 2 feet. Slide down slowly until your thighs are parallel to the ground, like you're sitting in an invisible chair. Your knees should be directly above your ankles. Tuck your pelvis slightly and press your lower back gently into the wall. Start with 20 seconds breathing normally. The key? Form over time. Even a short, well-done hold is better than a long, sloppy one. As your body adapts, increase by 5 seconds each week until you reach 90 seconds. Then, and this is the powerful part, try lifting one heel at a time for 5 seconds. That trains the single leg stability you need for stairs. Research from the Cleveland Clinic showed that seniors who progressed to this version increased their stair confidence by 28%. You can do this while watching TV, listening to a podcast, waiting for the kettle to boil. But here's what I told Gloria, and I'll tell you too. Don't just do this for your legs. Do it for the freedom of walking upstairs without hesitation. Next, we move to an exercise that flips traditional thinking upside down and trains your body for something even more crucial, coming down safely. Movement number 4, step downs. Train the motion. Everyone forgets. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever felt more nervous going down the stairs than going up? If so, you're not alone, and you're not weak. In fact, going downstairs is 3 times harder on your muscles than going up. It demands something called eccentric control, your ability to slow yourself down without collapsing. That control fades silently with age, not because we're doing something wrong, but because most of us are never taught to train it. That's where the step down comes in. In 2023, researchers at Harvard found something remarkable. When seniors trained stepping down instead of just stepping up, their ability to navigate stairs improved by 45%, more than double the improvement of those doing only step-ups. Why? Because stair safety isn't about raw strength. It's about coordination, balance, and teaching your body to descend with control. So here's how you start. Use a sturdy step or a low platform, about 6 to 8 inches tall. Stand on it with both feet. Shift your weight to your right foot. Slowly lower your left foot toward the ground. Take a full 3 seconds to descend. Let your left toes barely kiss the floor. Then push through your right heel to rise back up. Sound easy? Try it slowly and you'll feel it. Your knees should stay in line with your toes. Your chest stays lifted. And your eyes look forward, not down. Why? Because a study at the University of Pittsburgh found that looking down while stepping down increases your risk of imbalance by 60%. Begin with 8 reps per leg 3 times a week. After 2 weeks, increase to 12 reps. When that feels steady, hold a 5 lb weight at your chest for added challenge. The Mayo Clinic found that this small addition boosted results by another 38%. But here's the real victory. I had a patient named Robert, 68 years old, retired fireman, proud man. He told me he avoided visiting his grandkids because of their steep porch steps. We worked on step downs for 6 weeks. One morning, I got an email. I carried my grandson down the porch stairs. No rail, no fear. That's what this is about. Not just movement, but memory. Helping your body remember how to trust itself again. And now, we move to a set of muscles you can't even see. But without them, every stair would feel like ice, your hip stabilizers. Movement number 3, standing hip abduction, the hidden muscles that keep you steady. There's a reason some stairs feel more dangerous than others. It's not always about strength. It's about stability. That split-second wobble, that moment where your foot doesn't land quite right, and suddenly your confidence is gone. I can't count how many patients have told me, "Doc, I don't fall, but I feel like I could." That feeling comes from deep inside your hips, specifically from your hip abductors. These small muscles on the outside of your hips control how your body stays balanced when you shift weight from one leg to another, just like every step on a staircase. The sad part? Most exercise programs completely ignore them, but a 2024 study from Northwestern University changed that. They tested over 1,500 older adults and discovered that hip abductor strength was the #1 predictor of stair confidence. Not leg press, not squats, not cardio, hip abductors. The best way to wake them up? Standing hip abduction. Simple, quiet, incredibly powerful. Here's how. Stand next to a wall or sturdy chair for balance. Place your feet together. Shift your weight to your left leg. Keep your right leg straight and slowly lift it out to the side. Move from the hip, not by leaning your torso. Lift until you feel a squeeze on the outside of your hip, usually about 12-18 inches. Hold for 2 seconds, then lower with control. It's harder than it sounds because your standing leg is working just as hard. Keep your knee slightly bent, your spine tall, and your core gently braced, like you're balancing a book on your head. Start with 10 reps per leg. After 2 weeks, loop a light resistance band around your ankles. A study from Boston University found that adding resistance bands increased stair ability by 43% more than bodyweight training alone. Do these every day. Yes, every single day. Why? Because your hip stabilizers are small but quick to recover. They don't get overwhelmed. They thrive on frequency. I tell my patients, do them while brushing your teeth, while waiting for your toast, during TV commercials. One of my favorite stories is of Elena, 75. She hadn't worn heels in 12 years. After 6 weeks of daily hip abductions, she wore heels to her granddaughter's wedding and danced. That's the power of reclaiming stability. Coming up next, the most underestimated move of them all, the one that mimics the exact motion of climbing stairs. And it all starts in your own living room chair. Movement number 2, sit to stand, rebuild strength, where it matters most. I want to share a quiet truth with you. For many older adults, the first sign of decline isn't when they can't walk far or lift groceries. It's when they struggle to stand up from a chair. It sounds small, but emotionally it feels big. That tiny hesitation, the push with your hands, that little sigh as your knees resist. It tells you something you don't want to admit. But here's the thing. That movement, sitting to standing, is nearly identical to what your body does when it climbs stairs. In fact, a study at Duke University using 3D motion cameras found that 87% of the muscle activation in climbing stairs is matched when you stand up from a chair. Which means if you can master this one move, you'll rebuild the very system that powers every step upward. It's called the sit-to-stand exercise. And it's as real-world as it gets. Here's how you do it. Use a sturdy chair, not a soft couch or recliner. Sit toward the front edge, with feet flat and slightly behind your knees. Cross your arms over your chest, no pushing with hands. Lean forward from your hips, not your back, until your nose is over your toes. Then drive through your heels to stand tall. Pause for half a second. Lower yourself slowly back down without collapsing. This downward motion, the controlled descent, is what trains your ability to come downstairs safely. Start with 3 sets of 8 reps, resting 60 seconds in between. After 1 week, increase to 10 reps. By week 3, aim for 12-15 per set. When that becomes easy, lower the chair height slightly, or hold the bottom position for 2 seconds before standing up. Why does this work so well? Because it doesn't just build strength. It builds functional strength, the kind your body remembers and uses every single day. A 2023 study by the National Institute on Aging found that adding a 2-second pause at the bottom improved stair climbing power by 31%. I tell my patients to do this exercise every other day, ideally in the afternoon. That's when your muscles are warm and your joints move easier. But even more important than when is consistency. The best time is the one you'll stick to. One of my patients, James, 70, was embarrassed he couldn't stand without using his arms. After a month of sit-to-stands, not only could he rise easily, he started volunteering at a local community garden. Because standing up from a chair isn't just about chairs. It's about standing up for your life. And now, we arrive at the final, most powerful movement of all, the one that stunned researchers with how quickly it transformed people's ability to take stairs. Movement number 1, heel raises with isometric hold, rediscover your power to rise. This is the one that changed everything, the movement that shocked researchers. The one that older adults said gave them their spring back. It's called the heel raise with isometric hold. And it's not just about your calves, it's about rediscovering upward power, that push-off strength you used to take for granted every time you took the first step on a staircase. You see, your calf muscles, especially the soleus and gastrocnemius, produce up to 40% of the total power needed for climbing stairs. But here's the hidden truth. Most exercises only build calf strength. What really matters is calf endurance and control, especially at the top of the movement. A Stanford study proved it. Participants who added isometric holds at the peak of their heel improved stair climbing speed by 67% in just 8 weeks. Even more powerful, they reported that stairs felt 70% easier. Here's exactly how to do it. Stand with the balls of your feet on a step, heels hanging off the edge. Hold on to something stable, but don't pull with your arms. Rise up onto your toes as high as you can. At the top, hold for a full 3 seconds. Then lower slowly for another 3 seconds, letting your heels drop just below the step. Pause for 1 second at the bottom. Don't bounce. That hold at the top, that's where the magic happens. It wakes up your fast-twitch fibers, the ones responsible for quick reactions, push-off force, and confidence on unstable ground. Begin with 3 sets of 12 double-leg raises every other day. After 2 weeks, try single-leg versions. These challenge your balance and train the micro-stabilizers in your ankles and feet. Week 3-4, 2 sets double leg, 1 set single leg per side. Week 5 onward, all 3 sets single leg, 8-10 reps each. Rest 90 seconds between sets. Your calves need full recovery to give their best. Once you're steady, try standing on a yoga mat or towel for slight instability. This boosts muscle activation by 23%, according to Australian researchers. And one last tip, use your mind. Olympic coaches teach athletes to visualize pushing the ground away instead of lifting themselves up. That one mental shift increases muscle firing by 12%. And if you're holding your breath, try this instead. Exhale as you rise. Hold your breath gently during the 3-second hold. Inhale slowly as you descend. Why? It increases core stability and gives you better balance in real life. One of my favorite patients, Ruth, age 72, told me she used to dread the stairs in her building. After mastering heel raises, she told me, "I don't just climb stairs now, I chase the elevator just for fun." And that's what this movement is about. Not just improving strength, not just building control, but restoring your belief that stairs are still yours to conquer. Now let's bring it all together. Now that you've seen all 5 movements, the question becomes, how do you turn this knowledge into real change? The answer is simple and beautiful. You don't need to overhaul your life. You don't need to become an athlete. You just need a quiet rhythm, a steady practice. I tell my patients, think of these movements not as exercises, but as reminders to your body. You're simply helping it remember what it once did so easily. So here's what I recommend. In the morning, while the house is still quiet, begin your day with 2 small actions: a wall sit for 30 to 90 seconds and standing hip abductions, just 10 reps each leg. You can do this while the coffee brews or while brushing your teeth. These 2 movements wake up your posture, balance, and thigh strength before the day even starts. Around midday, after lunch or before your short walk, take a moment to practice the sit to stand. 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps from a firm chair. No hands, just your legs. This one move builds the raw, practical strength that turns stair climbing from a struggle into a second-nature action again. Then, in the late afternoon or early evening, when your body is warm but not yet tired, finish your day with step-downs and heel raises. 2 sets of step-downs per leg, done slowly and with control. And 3 sets of heel raises, holding at the top for 3 full seconds. Feel the ground beneath you. Feel your calves engage. These moves restore the power and stability you need, not just for stairs, but for every uneven curb, every slippery floor, every moment when balance matters. Done together, this routine takes no more than 20 minutes, and you only need to do it every other day. That's right, just 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. On the in-between days, I often suggest one small habit, a single set of hip abductions, just to keep your stabilizers firing. This isn't about doing more. It's about doing just enough, consistently. And after a few weeks, you may notice something. You're not gripping the handrail as tightly. You're not hesitating at the first step. You might even forget you were worried about stairs at all. That's how healing often begins, not with a dramatic transformation, but with a quiet return to ease. And all it takes is a few minutes, a few times a week, and a little belief that your body is still capable of surprising you. I've met so many people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, who quietly carry a fear they rarely speak aloud. Not fear of disease, not even fear of pain, but fear of losing independence. That silent moment when the stairs start to feel taller, when the floor feels farther away, when you hear yourself say, "I used to move better than this," and maybe part of you starts to wonder, is this just the way it's going to be now? I'm here to tell you, no, it doesn't have to be. What you've learned today isn't theory. It's not wishful thinking. It's science tested on real people just like you. People who believed they were too old to improve until they took one small step. And that's all it takes. Just 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes to wake up your hips. 5 minutes to strengthen your push. 5 minutes to say to your body, we're not done yet. Because every time you rise from a chair without help, every time you climb stairs without thinking, every time you move without fear, you are not just exercising. You are reclaiming something deeply human, freedom. So here's my challenge to you. Start today, not tomorrow, not next week. Choose one of the 5 movements, just one. Try it, feel it, and come back tomorrow for the next. And if you're willing, share in the comments. How old are you? Which movement did you start with? What part of your day will you give 5 minutes to? Because when you share, you inspire others. And when you begin, your body will follow. Remember, stairs are not your enemy. They are your training ground. You don't need to be 40 again. You just need to believe that even at 70, 75, 80, your strength can still surprise you. I'll see you in the next video. You've got this.